I don't know. I don't know, man. I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
And we're live.
We're live. We're live.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the greatest colloquium cactus in existence. I got the boy here with me. The man with a plan and the ultimate Nas fan, the electric jolts. E to the motherfucking J.
I like that. I like that.
Then we have the human calculator with the numerical nomenclature. The man who always catches you with your pants down.
What? Yo, that's creepy as fuck.
The no shirt later. The no shirt later. I tried to put that in there.
Remember? Oh yeah, nigga not wearing a shirt under a windbreaker. That's crazy, bro.
The
Even
no shirt later.
That's crazy,
bro. Leave me
crazy.
alone.
I can't. Even I be walking around with the sweater. I couldn't let that one slide. That's nuts.
Nah, it's not like I'm going outside like this. I'm not going outside like this.
This man doesn't wear shirts under a coat, probably, bro. Under a North Face. You give that man a North Face coat. He probably don't like it.
Oh, that's crazy.
I don't wear North Face coats.
That's some New York nigga shit. That's some New York shit. New York nigga be walking with the North Face open and no shirt underneath. Some fucking Tim's on. Tim's in some shorts. Fucking brick outside. He's walking. Just shorts.
I remember somebody came outside. It was like one of those Instagram entertainers where he came out in a tank top while it was snowing outside, and he just had a bottle of Henny. And he like people was passing him by, they was like, "You ain't cold." He like, "Nah, the Henny is the coat, bro. The Henny's the coat."
He's not lying.
The tank top.
He's not lying.
This right here, this my coat.
He's not lying. You start hitting that hard liquor, and you'll warm up real fast.
That should do
real fast. But I can't. I'm gonna have to give Ray some credit. You know, I walked outside like when I was being lazy in a hoodie with no shirt underneath, just zip that shit up and walked outside. I've done it before. Like I can't front.
Oh no, what is this?
Ray be tricking y'all though because he don't be outside for too long. You know what I'm saying? He walk a couple blocks. He could wear whatever he gonna wear because he's not gonna be outside for that long. He's not really trekking it. He's not really trekking it. You know what I'm saying? He's driving everywhere. So
walks right into his car. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
But
He's not saying shit.
A little bit of personal venting, a little ranting. I'm gonna go on right now. In the words of the great philosophers of old, these bitches be crazy. Because I just can't. I don't think I can. I try sometimes to try and see life like a normal person, like a ham and egger, like a blue pillar, right? I try to think in my head, maybe I should just let go of some of my more out there ideas and philosophies and the things that I find strange, and just try and be a normal person, just try and blend in, try to do all the normal people stuff, right? And then these chicks start telling me stories, and I just can't. Like when they tell me stories about the ways they be annoying their boyfriends just for fun, I was like, I can't deal with this. I don't think I could do this. And the stories I be hearing about like things they'll do for attention and. Oh, I wear whatever I want. Like my boyfriend ain't telling me nothing. I just like, I'm okay.
What about what you do for attention? Let's talk about that. What about what what about what you do, man? You feel me? You don't be asking for attention out here, man. You don't go to the gym. You feel me? Working on your physique for attention.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you're wearing them shirts that show off certain parts of your body. I mean, what about you, man?
I'll admit that. But my point is. If I'm going out there for attention, right? And that was why it was so refreshing in Miami to have a normal woman who knew what she wanted and got what she wanted, and it was just an arrangement, and that it was fine, and there was no baggage. It's like I know what I'm there for, and I will like if you were to interact with me about that, it's okay. Like I'm not gonna go out there like in a fucking tank top, and if a girl walks up to me, be like, "Ooh, I like the way you look," I'm like. Who are you? How dare you? That's fucking retarded, isn't it? Like, yeah. I can't deal with this stuff anymore. It's just, I don't know, man.
This world ain't for you no more, ain't it? Yeah. You're already looking towards the afterlife, huh?
Yo, when I was younger, no kidding, it used to depress me so much. I was like, I need to be gone from this planet. I was like, I don't think I can live here anymore because the shit people would say, the things I would see them do. I really thought the world was crazy. And so, but then I was like, you know what? just stop paying attention to it. Just start. Now I just find it funny. Like I just find these things comical when they'll say like, I don't know.
Like my son Dexter said, he said, I lived in a world of darkness over time, and over time that darkness grew and it became my light, and then I can eventually see. And I was like, damn,
Mm. Yeah,
that's yeah. Yeah, true enough.
you just gotta have fun. You gotta stop taking it so serious. That's my message to all the the incel and black pill guys. Just stop taking it so seriously. Like
You become numb. You become numb to shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You
You
just gotta
become numb to shit,
you
and
just
then it
gotta
don't
see
bother you as much.
you just gotta see this goofy stuff for what it is and hope there's more to learn. Like hope someone will surprise you maybe. But not even hope, just wait, because inevitably you'll meet someone who is out there and cool. But because even right, I never thought I was gonna meet certain like women still surprise me sometimes, but yeah, people still surprise me sometimes, but a lot of times they don't.
You ever surprise yourself? Like, damn, I'm nice.
Yes, I surprised myself with how stupid things I've done too. Like that was fucking stupid. You're a fucking idiot. Like, have you guys ever had that moment where you do something so dumb? You're like, damn, am I
Like, whose man's am I? Like, whose man's am I?
I'll never forget one day me, Ray, and this guy and Teray were at this guy's house, and Ray does some math, right? And Ray is the math guy. So when he did the math, it was very wrong.
Man,
Like, it was very wrong. And I remember, like, let's say the answer was like 42, and Ray said like fucking 36, right? And then no, I think it was even worse than that. It was like
no,
way
it wasn't
off.
that bad. It wasn't that bad.
It was like way off. Let's say 35.
No, it wasn't that bad.
It was
It
way
was
off.
like
Why
I
do
was
I know it was
off
way
by
off?
one multiple. I was doing multiplication, and instead of doing like, I was like 12 times 6. I did 12 times 5. I was like, it's 32, and he just looked at me. He was just like,
That wasn't me. It was Teray.
yeah, Tori just looked at me, and he just started making me feel bad, uncomfortable, because like I obviously don't know
Well,
what
he
the
was
fuck I
like,
said wrong, right?
but this is what he did. He looked at him. He was like, let's say the answer is,
It was
let's say
32. He's
32.
like 32. I was like,
It's 32,
yes.
right? It's 32. That's
Yo, I was like, it was like being interrogated. I was just like, yeah, it's 32. What the fuck?
and like that was one of the moments where I guess Ray probably felt that because I remember that. But I remember there was a moment I had where I had to wonder if I was fucking retarded. I was tired. I was tired that day. I went to the to get some pizza. I forgot where I went to. I forgot where it was. But there was some pizza place in this mall. The story's gonna be hilarious. You guys are gonna find this funny. I go there, right? I say, "Oh, can I get like this pizza?" Right? And they're like, "Oh, it's gonna take a little while because we got this." So I was like, "Oh, can I get half?" And then for some reason, in my tired state, I thought making half the pizza would take less time. And then I got back to the table and I was like, yeah, I ordered half the pizza. And I was like, oh shit. Like as I said it, the gears started turning and then they started clowning me, they fucking pounding it in. Man.
I had a dumb moment too. I remember I think I was going to Chipotle and they had the revolving doors and I was so in a rush to get my food because I was on my lunch break that I go the wrong way to like get in to go through the revolving door. Like I have to go on the right side to turn it. I go on the left side and then it's just going super slow and I'm just keep walking through it and I know it feels wrong, but I'm like, yeah, at this point I don't want to walk back and then go the right way because I made it this far. It's like, you know, when you went down the path that you should not have gone down, but it's like, nah, like I'm sticking to it. So I'm going through the left side. It's taking way longer, and there's a guy behind me. He's like, wrong way. What are you doing? And then I'm just like, yeah, hi, you're right. He had a whole attitude on his face. I'm like, relax, man. Relax.
I remember I went into a Walgreens, right? And it was like one of the Windex Crows thing. I'm leaving the Walgreens. I think I'm walking out. I fucking walked smack dab into some glass. I was like, clunk. I was like, oh shit. I was like, what the fuck? It was so clear. Like it didn't look like outside. Like I was like, yo, they cleaned these windows too well. I was like, you gotta act like that's crazy.
Oh man, you remember when we were man and I don't even know what it's called, the moving floor.
The walkway, the Jetsons walkway
Yeah,
thing.
and then oh my god, the lady started walking on it the wrong way.
Well, it was real funny because
Oh
it was
yeah, yeah.
me and Ray are having a conversation. He's like, "Oh, these things are really dangerous." I was like, "How are they dangerous?" And Ray's like, "Oh, like me and you, two like able-bodied, whatever, like people." But I was like, "You got to remember, there's some like mentally disabled people out there, right?" That as soon as he said that, we're walking back, and there's the bitch on the going the wrong way on the thing.
And she had a whole attitude.
Had an
Yeah. She was
attitude.
mad at us. She was mad at us because we were standing in her way, but she's going the wrong way down this fucking motorized path. And I was just like, it probably took her 4 times as long to get where she was going, bro.
Yeah, and it's like I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, she had to have noticed, right?
Fuck, she
Like,
had a whole attitude. That was what threw me off. Like,
yeah. I was like, did she make the decision to go the wrong way, or was she dumb enough to not know? Like, could you really be that dumb to not realize, like, to not look down and notice, like, notice you're walking and the thing
Maybe
seems to
she
be
was like, this is
resisting
gonna give me my exercise, you know? Maybe
you?
that was it. Maybe
You know what?
we're
Yeah,
the dumb ones, bro.
let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's give her the benefit of the
he was
doubt.
looking at y'all like, man, don't make fun of me just because I'm not as smart as y'all.
Oh man,
It's
she was
just,
super something. She was something.
but anyways, I guess we can start talking.
Man, this is good content actually because this fits right in with the throwback. These are the throwback stories, the throwback Thursday already. I have my own separate one that I wanted to
Oh, do you want to talk about
save
it
later.
now? Or should
I guess we could do it unless you had something that you wanted to talk about.
I was just gonna talk about gargoyles. That was the plan.
Go ahead. I'll talk about it later.
So, my throwback, my thing. It's not even a throwback for me because I've watched this show so often. Like it's like every few years. Not even every few years. Like fucking almost every year, I'll end up rewatching this show or rewatching specific parts of it. Gargoyles, in my opinion, probably one of the greatest animated series of all fucking time. There are very few animated series that can hold the torch to gargoyles, right?
You
Like,
seen the whole thing though, right? Like,
yeah, I've seen the whole thing multiple times. Nope, actually, season 3, I do not. I can't finish it. It's very bad. But season
so
3,
it wasn't good throughout. It fell off. Okay, it
no,
fell off.
season 3 is crazy. Like season 3, they just there are some episodes of season 3 that are good, but it's like season 3 they kind of went a new direction, and changed things. Like the creator Greg Wiseman, one of the creators anyway, literally has a comic that skips season 3, just ignores that shit, and picks up exactly where season 2 left off. Because season 3 is like it's well known how bad it is. But
Wait. So the comic came out. It came out before, right? Prior
no,
to
after
the
the
show.
show.
After the show. Oh.
After the show. So it skips over season 3. Season 3 is not considered canon in the comics. So anyways, like one of the cool things about Gargoyles is it did that thing we were talking about where it features adult content and like adult themes without being like really gross or be too brutal or that kind of thing. It just because like people have this idea, especially in like modern fiction, like modern like live primetime television. They have this idea that in order for something to be adult, it must either feature a lot of curses and gratuitous violence. And I don't have anything against gratuitous violence, but I will be watching shows sometimes, and I'll just wonder like if certain scenes with niggas getting their heads blown open, I'm like, did they just include because it'll feel out of place. Like I'll be watching a show, they were having a conversation, character will pull out a gun and shoot the guy in the head, and I'm just like, was that necessary? Like, did they write that in there just to like be cool and edgy? Like that didn't feel like it needed to happen, you know?
Like narratively just didn't fit.
What was that? Yeah, it just feels like sudden. It's very jarring. You know, it like takes me out of the show. But Gargoyles didn't do that. You know, there was some violence. It was part of a fight. It felt like it needed to happen. I remember when Eliza gets shot and you literally see her get shot, and it was a whole thing because one of the characters, one of the gargoyles, found her gun and was playing around with it. And to him, he didn't understand how the fuck this was, so he's playing around with it. Because remember, these niggas are like 1,000 years old. They were stuck in stone for like 1,000 years, and then they wake up in modern time. And he accidentally shot her, and he felt like real shit, man. And then the episode is crazy. He goes on this rampage where he just starts trying to destroy all the weapons in the city. So he starts attacking like gangsters and stuff and trying to destroy their weapons. And it's a good episode. It's a pretty good episode. But yeah, the way Gargoyles handles adult themes is one of my favorite parts of the show, and the way it managed to weave in like just like Shakespearean themes. And when I say Shakespearean themes, I don't even mean just like concepts, which they did. Like they had the classic Iago and Othello situation where you have a character manipulating another character to try and ruin his life. And in this case, they used Goliath in the place of what was that guy's name again? Cassius. In the place of Cassius, it was Goliath. And basically, there was this gargoyle and this other gargoyle who I think was literally named Iago. I think they just went ahead and just named him Iago. He's trying to convince the other gargoyle that Goliath is trying to take his girl. So this guy, I think he tries to kill Goliath, and then he ends up getting hurt. But they would literally take actual Shakespearean characters and incorporate them into the show. Like fucking Macbeth is an actual part of the show, an actual part of the show's mythology. And that shit was very interesting to me. I was like, damn, they just have Shakespeare characters in here. Like, I don't know why they did that. I think it's because, both Shakespeare and, the creators of the show are digging from the same mythology, like that Irish. Oh, I don't remember if Gargoyles are Celtic. I think they are Celtic. I think Gargoyles.
Isn't it Celtic?
Celtic.
Sorry.
Sure.
Celtic, the basketball team. Go
ahead. Yeah. Yeah. And Gargoyles introduced one of the greatest villains of all time. David Xanatos was a fucking amazing villain. Like, this man was so amazing. He created a trope. They had to name a trope after him, the fucking Xanatos Gambit, where you just have a plan where no matter what happens in the plan, you win. Like, it's like no matter what you do, like you do something so that every eventuality benefits you in some way. And then you have Xanatos Speed Chess, where you change your plan on the fly as you see things progressing. You're just like, okay, Goliath is going to do this. I'm going to do this instead to stop him from going there. Like, Xanatos was crazy, man. The shit, like, crazy ass things he would do. Like, I remember there was an episode where this motherfucker, he made this, like, robotic gargoyle, right? And there was a virus he wanted. He sends the robotic gargoyle to attack the facility so that the police would need to use this specific machine he made to try and stop the robot. The robot downloads the virus and he takes like the robot he created, the gargoyle robot, and then he takes the virus from the gargoyle robot, and then he takes his machine back, like confiscates it after it like fizzes out. It's like, oh, I guess it's defective machinery. But no, the whole thing was just a scheme so he could get the fucking virus. And I was like, yeah, this is really convoluted plan. Those just were so funny. I mean, have any of you ever watched Gargoyles?
I've seen some other episodes.
Yeah, I remember liking it, but I don't remember. I watched it as a kid, but I don't remember nothing about the show. But I remember enjoying it. Like, I remember thinking they were cool, like the animation. They were. I don't remember if like they were like what they were supposed to represent. Like if they were good, if they were like outcasts from civilians, like they would only come out at night or something like that.
They were good guys, but they were outcasts. Like they had
Yeah.
to hide and stuff. And like Goliath is like a very honorable guy. Like he doesn't like he's very like he's like a Bushido kind of guy. Like he's just warrior's honor, like a warrior philosopher. Like he loved reading and stuff, but if something went down, he was ready to throw hands. Like he'll fuck you up. And I remember, now you reminded me of one of the coolest elements of the show. Goliath had his own Bizarro, right? So David Xanatos, he makes a clone of Goliath, but he instructs the clone in like the teaching someone like Xanatos believes like someone needs to know. So it's just scheming and being a deceptive piece of shit, right? So he taught him all that stuff. His own fucking creation creates his own fucking convoluted scheme to escape from his his containment cell or whatever, and trick this other guy into getting Xanatos to give him a ransom, and then trap Goliath and David Xanatos on this boat so they can both die together. And fucking Xanatos and Goliath have to work together to stop him.
So he
And
turned on his own creator then.
yeah, and Xanatos' reply or his response when he figured that out, it looks like the kid is a chip off the old block. Like he was almost proud that the nigga managed to trick him. And that nigga kept coming back with more and more convoluted schemes. Like Thylaug was probably worse than Xanatos, to be honest. Like he would do crazy shit, all just to like
teacher becomes the master.
Yeah. Like Thylaug was a real dickhead, and he had the strength of Goliath to match.
I mean, student becomes the master. I said that.
Yeah, and he had the strength to match his wits. But the other thing about him is that he wasn't like Goliath. So it's like, if you're did you finish Battle Tendencies already?
Yeah, I just finished it recently. It's when you mentioned it.
You know how Cars does not play fair, and he will fuck you up. That was how Thylaug was. Thylaug is not going to fight you. One of the first things he does when he comes back with a whole suit of armor and a fucking gun, and he don't fight people. He just starts shooting at you. He does not fight. He's like, nah. It's like that makes no sense. I'm just gonna fucking kill you.
So what was bad about the third season then? What you didn't like about it? Like, what did it do differently than the previous seasons?
It just doesn't have the same depth. Characters kind of act different, that kind of thing.
Was the villain not in it? David Xanatos?
David Xanatos stops really being a villain around like season 2. Like he becomes more of an ally. Because like he had a kid, so he had to stop doing crazy bullshit. And
oh man, got a kid.
I hate this shit up, man.
PTA things now, bro. I can't be out here destroying the world.
Yep. And then to make matters worse, his fucking kid, because then even Xanatos got his ass fucking tricked. Basically, he had this guy that was working for him named Owen. Owen turns out to be some fucking mischievous sprite from the fucking fairylands who was sitting there. Who he literally was just fucking with Xanatos, I think, because he found him interesting or some shit. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think Xanatos knew. Yeah, Xanatos didn't know. He was exposed by fucking Oberon. And basically, there's a funny part because the way these niggas wrote this show was crazy. Because I remember we meet this guy named Preston Vogel, right? And the first time I ever met Preston Vogel or saw him in an episode, I noticed that he seemed very similar to Owen, but he just had black hair. And then you learn that why am I forgetting his name? Shit. Oh, fucking Puck from another Shakespearean character, like a trickster. Puck, he used Preston as a model for the character he was hiding as because he was so wooden. He thought he was perfect for the role that he wanted to do. So basically,
and this was a kid's show, right?
Yeah, this was a kid's show.
Like, damn.
So yeah, he was hiding. And Xanatos, of course, is pissed when he figures this out. And then, their son, it turns out, what was it?
Says you can't make a kid's show complex, man.
It turns out that,
right there.
I think the woman that Xanatos married, Fox, I think she had fairy blood. I think she was like descended from Oberon, right? So her kid had like mystical power, and Oberon came back to try and take him. But so that became a whole thing. Part of the reason why Xanatos didn't want to be evil anymore is because now he has this kid who literally has like crazy mystical power, and he has to make sure that this is like wielded correctly. Like he's pretty much protecting the world now. And Puck had to teach him. Like that was Puck. Puck was cursed to like stay there and have to teach this kid how to utilize his powers correctly. Yeah, but Puck was still fucking around doing trickster shit even after he was exposed. Like he did not give a fuck. But he was just different about it now. He wasn't like so out there. But yeah, there's a lot of legendary. Like you guys need to watch these episodes. Like, if you don't watch any other episodes of Gargoyles, the best episodes are. There was I don't remember the name of this episode, but I just know there was a villain called the Magus, right? The Magus. and he gets this time travel thing in his possession, and it's just like this whole saga where he's trying to like travel through time to ensure that certain things happen so he can become as powerful as he becomes in the future. So yes, because the thing is, the way they treated time travel in Gargoyles was one of the best approaches, where it's like whatever happened happened. So if you time travel to do something, it already happened. Like you're gonna see the results of what you did before. It's not like some Back to the Future shit where you got the picture and it's fading. No, if you went back in time to like I don't know, fuck your mother, you're your father now. Like it's just you know, like you're your
How
own.
the fuck did that come?
Oh, this is a classic time travel trope, the grandfather paradox. Um, but yeah, there are no paradoxes in their version of time travel. So they had to do some like convoluted shit to try and beat him. Crazy episodes. Those episodes were nuts. Fucking nuts, man. But yeah, that was a really good show. I just can't get over how good that show was, man. Like, but season two, it has this thing that happens where it's a lot of filler. Like, even though this is only a 3 season show, it had its moment of filler. The filler was good because, like, what happens? It's like Gargoyle and Eliza, they go fucking they're trying to get
Gargoyle
to
and Eliza?
no, yeah, Eliza, yeah.
No, you said Gargoyle and Eliza.
Oh, sorry. Goliath and Eliza, sorry. They go to Avalon, right? And they're on this like special boat, but the boat takes you where you need to be or some goofy shit like that. So they go on the boat on the waves, and instead of taking them home, it'll take them to all these different locations. And they kept interacting with different like children of Oberon, like people descended from Oberon. And of course, each time they met a child of Oberon, he was fucking with them. Like every time the child of Oberon would do some shit to fuck with them. And then there was this fucking one of the ways they end up bumping into dialogue again is because of the fucking boat. Like it brings up it's and he's fucking happy. He's much happy to get a chance to kill Goliath again. But there was one episode because Xanatos, one of his best schemes, right? Basically, he had funded these like mercenaries, right? And he sends a robot there to break them out, and then like the robot breaks out them out, but one of them decides to stay. Fox. She's like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay." And like this is like a whole episode where they try to go after the gargoyles again, and then the robot ends up being destroyed. But then you learn at the end of the episode, the entire thing was just a ruse to make Fox look good so she could get an early parole. Like that's the only reason he freed them from prison, like because he was in love with Fox. So he did that shit to get her out. But basically, that robot he made, Coyote, it comes back and Coyote has an episode where he fights the actual mythological figure Coyote. Where they're like beefing over the fact that both of them are named Coyote. And there's more to it, but that's just a part of the episode. So yeah, enough of me fangirling about Gargoyles. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, he was here, he was there, he was all over the place. But I'll fuck with it though. Like Gargoyles always seemed interesting to me, so I might check it out.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a really
But
good
it's
show.
just like I don't know. I feel like with past shows, like even like past Disney movies that I enjoyed as a kid, it feels weird revisiting them now. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the. I don't know. I wouldn't say patience. I don't have the motivation, I guess, to sit there and watch
I
it.
get that. I get that.
Yeah.
I don't have the motivation to watch a lot of animated movies. Like children movies, I don't feel the motivation to watch them anymore. So I like not do it. I don't feel the motivation to watch much of anything anymore, to be honest. Like
Nah, same.
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
specific things. I'll check them out. But so as now you reminded me of something that happened in the fan space. Do you know, yo Ray? You know Henry Cavill? How they announced he
Oh
was coming?
yeah. I heard about
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
I heard he got removed.
crazy man, crazy.
Bro, and like didn't he leave Witcher to be Superman? So
I don't
like
know.
now he doesn't have Witcher, now he doesn't have Superman. I was like
What
also
Did they say why they removed him?
no, I don't think so. Do you know?
Mhm.
It's because they fucking
I
hired
saw a headline, but
they hired that goofy ass nigga James Gunn to run their universe. If you know anything about James Gunn, that motherfucker can't make a serious film to save his life.
I mean, that's what they want. They want DC to be Marvel Part 2, the Electric
Yeah.
Boogaloo.
Damn, man. But yeah, I'm officially done with DC. Like I'm not. I'm finished.
Whoa,
The DCU or the MCU?
Both, to be
DCE.
honest. I'm done with both. Like I was done with superhero movies in general. I had a brief moment of excitement where I was like, okay, if they bring back Henry Cavill, maybe we might get an actual sequel to fucking Man of Steel. Finally, get to see him reprise the role and develop those storylines. But I mean, as Eric July was warning people, stop raising your hopes in these fucking things. And I agreed with him, but I'm not going to pretend that I didn't briefly get suckered in tiny,
Nah,
like I
Henry
really
Cavill
did.
is Superman, bro.
Yeah, he looked
Like
like he been playing Superman his whole life. Not
he
gonna
was
lie.
born to be Clark Kent.
Yeah. So I'm done with DC. Don't think I'm gonna check. If I ever check any of these movies out, it'll be like on a whim, maybe. But I'm not paying for any of them. I'm not giving these niggas my money anymore.
Yeah, no,
Never.
I gotta wait for it to come out free on the streaming services. And by free I mean I'm not paying for the streaming services. So
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm not about to like. What is there really to look forward to? The Batman was a cool movie. I enjoyed it, but I don't even think that movie needs a sequel. Like I don't really see the point. Everyone.
yeah, I don't think there should be a sequel.
Um,
Oh.
the Joker is getting a sequel for some fucking
Why the
reason.
fuck is it? I haven't even seen
The
it, but
Joker
niggas are
with
saying that type of.
Joaquin,
Yeah,
Joaquin Phoenix, that
yeah,
movie. Yeah,
yeah,
that was an incredible movie.
yeah. But what? It didn't need a sequel, did it? Like
Nah,
it's
nah,
like imagine making a sequel to fucking Taxi Driver. Like why would you do that?
If
You know?
yeah,
anything,
nah.
those two, that the Batman and the Joker, they have to be together. But
So I'm not excited for anything superhero related. I do not care. I think Spider Verse. Yeah, Spider Verse was the last one I was kind of excited for. I'm
I
still a
didn't
little.
think it needed a sequel either. TBH.
Well, the only reason I thought a sequel could be cool, because I wanted to see like how much fun they would have with the multiverse concept. Not that I care so much about it. I think they've ruined the character of Spider-Man with the multiverse concept because they really love introducing alternate versions of that nigga Spider-Man, and it gets
Yo, I don't
old.
even know why it's just that nigga Spider Man.
He's their most popular character. It's
But
that simple.
goddamn,
And he from Queens, so you know what I'm saying. That helps.
they want to have every kind of version of Spider Man they possibly can. I think they just
Yeah.
want the trademark.
Yeah, the other reason is it's an IP farm. You introduce an alternate version of a character, and you can have a Miles Morales on your hand, where that character people latch onto it, so they keep doing it and doing it and doing it, so they can make even more money off the name Spider-Man. And some people suspect it's because every once in a while the creators of these characters will come back, or like they'll be in legal battles with these companies that the companies try to keep on the hush hush. Like that happens with Superman. Um, and basically, what happens is they believe like they'll try and change the character enough so that they can still use the character and not have to pay any royalties to these creators because these comic book companies are unscrupulous motherfuckers, very very shitty people. But
Good way to put it. Unscrupulous.
yeah, they're very shitty when it comes to business. These comic book motherfuckers will
Morally depraved.
yeah they will bleed you out they will bleed you out. But yeah, like there was just this story that started going viral about these creators talking about how they be waiting like fucking 3, 4, 5 months to get paid and shit, like 6 months and shit, man. And the companies that won't pay them will be late with their payments, like the artists and stuff. But yeah, so that was Spider Verse kind of disappointed me because they included Jessica Drew, right? Jessica Drew is Spider Woman, and they made her black for some reason. And I just thought that was really weird because like Jessica Drew is like already a female variation of Spider Man. She's not
That
like an alpha.
sound like a white lady too.
Yeah,
Somebody told me just that name, and I didn't see who the person was.
yeah, she's not an alternate version of him, but she's like it's like
Isn't she just
Supergirl,
some
you know?
random lady?
Yeah, Spider Woman has
Just
nothing to do
some
with Spider.
random lady. She don't even got spider
He just
powers, bro. She can fly.
yeah, he just wanted to use the
They just
name.
wanted to. They wanted the trademark on the name Spider Woman.
Yeah, so basically, he introduced a black version of a character, as Eric July would put it, a tokenization of a tokenization. he's like he's like Spider Woman is a tokenized Spider Man, and then you introduce a black Spider Woman, so you're tokenizing it already. He's like tokenception, you know, like it's crazy. It's like I don't know, man. These people, I don't know.
These
So,
people. What do you mean by these people? What do you mean by
that,
that?
no, we got to recreate the Kanye thing where he's like It's like, because you know what they want. It's like, who's they? Yeah, you know who they is. No, I really don't. I really don't. Then peep Kanye. It's like, yo, fucking Simple was like, oh, you're leaving? And Kanye just walks out of the fucking interview. Oh man. Did you see Kanye saying that he might be autistic and that's the source of his superpowers?
He used to say that about bipolar. He was like, "Yeah, I'm bipolar. That's my superpower."
Now he's saying it about his autism.
He said he wasn't bipolar. So I was like, "Look, man, you can't pick and choose, bro. You can't be doing that, Kanye. You can't."
They wait for stupid shit.
And
But
Kanye would tell me that I can't tell him what he can and cannot do. I'm just a hater, but you can't be doing that, Kanye.
you are a hater. We had a whole episode called "The Player Haters Ball." We're all haters here.
You can't be.
Hey, hater, lay on
Yo,
the
EJ,
ground.
what was
Yeah,
your
been
throwback
around.
though?
So yeah, I was thinking about this one at work. I don't know why it dawned on me, but there was a time in middle school, right? And this is gonna sound lame, but that's just what it was at the time. So I remember being in gym class, and back when like basketball was everything in my life. Like I felt good at it, you know. I mean, I not that I felt good at it, but I thought for a second at least I was good until, the height ain't catch up to me. And in high school, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the man. I feel like the
He was
man.
at a thought for a second.
Yeah. For a second, for a brief, I had a moment. You know what I'm saying? I had a moment where I felt special. You
Bro,
know what I'm saying?
other people in your family taller? Like, are they all just taller than
Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. That might
you?
be it. I mean, like on my mother's side, like most of her uncles and like my grandparent, her dad, my grandfather, they're short. Like they're around my height or a little bit taller. So I think maybe that's what that gene got passed down to me. But on my dad's side, I mean, there's nobody that's super tall, but everybody's above average. Like there's nobody that's 6 feet in my family.
Yeah,
So
it was never in your cards, bro. It was
it
never
was never
there.
the
It was
cards,
never
you know.
there.
There's some
I,
short
you
niggas.
know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, anyways, so this is what happened, right? So I remember being in gym class. No, I'm bugging. I was in my school's gym, but I was enrolled in this after school program. Um, where like they would, we would do activities, use the gym to play sports, and just just have fun. Like it was after hours, and my dad didn't get out of work till later, so it was just good for him to have me in that until he could pick me up. So I remember we was in the gym. Uh, my fault. I just got an email that threw me off.
Hmm?
It popped up on my computer.
Happened to me earlier with something. I had
Yeah,
a sticky
that
note
should
on the
be.
wall and it
Yeah.
dropped and it threw me off for a second. I thought that shit was a spider or something. I was like, what the fuck is that? That was a big ass spider. Go ahead.
But yeah, there was this one of the counselors of the after school program was like this young woman that I thought she was fire. Her name was Genesis. Shout out to her. I don't know what she's doing these days if she got kids. You know what I'm saying? But she was the apple of my eye at
Yes.
that time.
Yeah, I saw her yesterday, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Came
was
from an appointment.
she was fire. And I remember I was playing a basketball game and you know what I'm saying? Like I'm playing passive. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm not really trying to dominate. I'm just like I'm getting my teammates involved. I'm letting everybody else score, do their thing. I remember she walked in, my eyes lit up. And then I just had this moment, like on some animation. I was like, nah, I really got a hoop right now. Yo, give me the rock. I just started dominating. I feel like that should give me superpowers. And I don't even know if she even saw what I was doing, even looked my way. But that should just give me an instant spark. It's just like, why did it take that to motivate me? Like,
You
you know
was
what I'm
simple.
saying? We gotta have the internal motivation to,
Nah, bro, you was simple. You was simple, bro. You was
I'm like,
simple.
hold on, let me see that. I just started going crazy. I'm like, my energy just went up. And I just thought that was funny. Like it was nothing past that. But it just today I was thinking about that at work, like how it took
Mhm.
this girl walking into the gym for me to like be on fire and like for me to like, go crazy. So
Yeah.
it's funny how I don't, as I guess as males, like what we do to impress people,
Uh huh.
especially women.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like there have been a couple of times in the gym where
You do an extra pull up. You know
I
what I'm
will
saying? Or extra set.
I do some extra shit because I'll see someone looking and I did like a girl, of course, and I just like right. But I grunt all the time anyway. But it doesn't have. Usually it doesn't happen. Usually I'm very inward and very inner focused. Like I go to that gym and try to block everybody out. Like every once in a while, I will get distracted. Like there was this chick dragging a
Yeah.
wagon behind her, and I was like, oh, I got distracted for a second. I was like, oh, okay, and then she started making eye contact with me. But I actually hate when that shit happens. I hate whenever it seems like there's a woman in the gym who might be interested in me because it throws me off. Like it starts, I notice I'll start to fuck up. I will
Yeah.
start to fuck up as soon as, like, because my focus is messed up now, you know? Uh,
I feel like when she walked in the gym, I feel like all the pressure was on me. I was in a championship game. Everybody, yo, give Eric the ball, give Eric the ball. I was, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That shit was great. My heart just started pumping. I'm like, yeah, yeah.
the ultimate drug. The ultimate drug. What
It's
about you,
time.
man?
It's time to
You
go in.
ever had one of those moments? I can remember quite a few of them, dude.
All right, refresh my memory here.
With that Nick, with a friend of ours. Basically, he knew this guy who was much smaller than both of us,
Oh,
and
that guy.
when women would come around, Ray would start beating the shit out of him. Ray would.
Y'all say this, but I don't remember it that way.
Yo, this man was a
Y'all making
bully.
save
The
up. It's
reason,
like, damn, is that a woman? Just start beating
yeah,
up.
the reason you don't remember is because you transform. You
Oh man.
transform. Like
Man with the,
yeah, you start putting this nigga in headlocks and stuff. Like basically, as soon as we were around, and like this nigga would get so mad about it. Um, so there was that. I just remember those moments when you. Because I'm not gonna lie, when we were in high school, you used to show up with the opposite sex quite a bit.
No recollection. I have no memory.
Mhm. When you
No
chilled out,
memory. I
by the
have no
time we got to
memory.
senior year, you were more chill about it. And then when you went to college, and I guess you experienced poontang, and you started to see women for what they were, you became a normal person. Yeah. And then the other people we knew did the exact opposite. They went and experienced women, and that's how you know they didn't get poontang. That's how you know they didn't get anything because the way they were behaving is it was like it was the way someone acts when they've been rebuffed by women and they start to hate all of them.
Mm.
That's what it was like. So you know their dreams to become Chad. Guys get fucked up trying to chase that Chad like status, trying to be the Chad. Like it'll ruin their lives. Like they'll chase that shit and it'll bring them nothing but trouble and heartache. Like you should not want to be Chad. Like Chad is dealing with bitches who hate him and trying to get him arrested for rape and all sorts of stuff. Like you don't want to be Chad. When you pump and dump these women, they want revenge. Sometimes they'll kill your ass. Like there are a couple of stories like that. You pump and dump a girl and she fucking kills you. Like it happens. So you should not be wanting to be Chad. You should want to be yourself. Be your fucking self. But whatever. Because you know what they say. Every like womanizer is a recovering romantic, and it's 100% fucking true. That shit is true as fuck. Yeah. But what about you, Ray? You got any throwback stories or anything that you want to talk about from the days of yore?
Well, thinking about the throwback, only because he's still so popular to this day. I was thinking about that nigga Kratos from the God of War series. Like he's truly just become an iconic character from like anyone who ever played PlayStation. Like when God of War 1 dropped, you were like, oh yeah, like I probably know that game. But at this point, like even if you've never played a game in your life, you know who Kratos is. You know about the God of War.
Arguably. Nah, yeah.
Nah, you know who Kratos is. Like he's like a significant figure in the space right now. Hell, before this game dropped, like all of Times Square, all of Times Square, all the trains, they just had Kratos all over them, wrapped around that shit, bro. Like especially if you went to Grand Central, like every single train had the God of War. All the pillars had him and his son. It was just kind of crazy to see the level of which this guy like grew. So I was just thinking back and thinking about I was gonna ask if you guys ever like have memories of playing God of War. Do you have memories of playing God of War, EJ?
I never owned a PlayStation, so
You never owned
I don't have like a lot of
a
memories, but
Oh
I
man.
definitely I played the game before, and I enjoyed it because it's very similar to one of my favorite games of all time, which is Ninja Gaiden. We probably talked about that game in the past. And any of the hack and slash games from like the Devil May Cry to Bayonetta, like I have an affinity for. Like I love those are probably like my favorite genre
How'd
of
you play
games.
Bayonetta?
Bayonetta's on Xbox. It was on 360.
No, it wasn't.
It was. You telling me I owned the game?
It was on 360. That's
These are not
crazy.
one of these are not one of these moments you're gonna push me into thinking of.
Nah.
of this.
I generally just was like, it's on 360.
Yeah.
But
Nah, but there was so many of those games. Like even you probably played this one, or maybe I don't know if it was only on Xbox. Dante's Inferno,
yeah,
or you heard of
Dante's
it?
Inferno.
Love that game too. Like I love those kind of hack and slash games.
But, yeah, no,
So
like I remember when I played God of War for the first time. I definitely should not have played that game. There was no business of me being as
yeah,
young as I was playing that game. Like I always bring this up to people how like this man literally just like in the middle of the game he just starts like laying some pipe and you gotta press the button to do it. He's just like pressing circle as he's just like the camera pans off screen and you just see like this like bowl of fruit just shaking and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this shit, bro? This shit's goofy.
good
Um,
cinematography. Good.
it was so goofy. But yeah, like it really got me interested into like I know it's not accurate to the lore, but like it was one of the games that got me more interested into like learning the actual Greece mythology, the Greeks, the Romans, all that shit. Like you start looking into it, and I think it was around the same time that Percy Jackson was out, so it was
Yeah.
just all over you, just like checking the book, and then you see Hercules, and you're like comparing it to Disney. Like it just sent you down a spiral, down a rabbit hole of like discovering what the fuck happened in the past. It was an interesting game, and the gameplay itself, especially since it's so different, it was like EJ said, it was a hack and slash where waves and waves of enemies would come at you, but you being the god of war himself, like you could just decimate waves and waves of people, and like the difficulty came in um the overwhelming number of people that would like show up and you having to like master those big sweeping AoE attacks. Like this man Kratos only had AoE attacks. No point and click. Not point and click, it's the wrong word. No one on one real moves until like you had to face a boss battle and they would like add an extra move every time you saw the circle, like the circle button. Well, it was fucking great.
And do you enjoy all of the God of War games? Did any of them fall off? Or
Um, I think Ascension was kind of booty cheeks. That was the one for
yeah,
PSP. It's kind of trash. God of War 3 did not hit as good as God of War 1 and
yeah,
2. God of War 3 was not as interesting. You know, it did wrap up the series. You got the ultimate end. It really like upped the scale because you were like fighting with the Titans. Um, it was a massive improvement in like the quality of the title, but like the story didn't hit. Like this wasn't there. Um, 2018 and 2022's new God of War, like the soft, it wasn't even a reboot. It's a continuation, but it's a completely different genre now. Instead of being a hack and slash rage monster, my boy Kratos is a fucking, I don't want to say well adjusted, but he's adjusting to being a father, right? Especially like you can see his growth from God of War like 1 to now.
You can see his growth quite literally
Yeah,
with
with
the
his beard. He
which
makes it
which
work, bro. He looks good in the beard.
which one is your favorite out of the series? Or do you have a
It'll
favorite?
probably be 2. If I had to
Mm,
pick, God of War 2 was, it's the most nostalgic one for me. It's probably the one I played the most because I, like, you know, when you had like your PS2 or like your first Xbox, you were just playing games over and over again because you just
yeah,
didn't have that many. So I probably played God of War 2 a few times. I even played it again on my PS3 because I got the collection. So I was like playing it again. That shit was great. Um, I do enjoy the story of Ragnarok, like just enjoying like the because when you're doing traveling, like when you're on a boat or you're just like sleighing along, Mimir would like tell you stories about the Greek. Well, no, it's mostly Norse mythology, but now in Ragnarok, he started telling you or like questioning Kratos about some of the Greek mythology, and it's kind of funny because at one point Mimir's like, "Yeah, I heard the exaggerated tale about you," and Kratos like, "What do you mean exaggerated? There's no exaggerations when it comes to me." And he's like, "Yeah, but they said you went back in time and like used time shenanigans to like kill people." He's like, "There's no way you possibly could have done that." He was like, "Of course I did." Mimir's like, "Of course you did." It's so fucking stupid. It's great.
Is Ragnarok the newest one?
Yeah, Ragnarok's the newest one.
Oh,
It came
okay.
out November. It's the one where all the ads about. It's mostly about his son now. Where like in God of War 1, it was you and like your kid was like your side character, and like it was you being a father. But now your kid's in his rebellious phase, so you get to play as the kid even, right? And you get to see like Kratos is like confused as to what the fuck is going on with his kid. But because you get to play as a kid, you can see why he's confused about his father. And
Wait, so he had a kid from even God of War 1?
so he had a kid in God of War, the original like trilogy, right? But at the start of the game of God of War 1, he had killed his own family, and that's why his skin is pale. They
Oh,
put the ashes of his family on his body. That's why he's
Damn.
pale.
they were inspired. They were definitely inspired by Hercules then when they did that. Because that happened to Hercules.
Oh yeah, he's Hercules' brother, bro.
Oh, he got tricked into killing his own family.
Yeah, he got tricked into killing his own family. That's why he like because he is pale, he is called the Ghost of Sparta because he still was like working and doing other shit. He's like a general. He was a general. So people was like, yeah, that nigga, don't fuck with him. And the reason he has the red tattoo is his brother had a weird birthmark in like on his face, but the fates told Zeus that some guy with the mark is going to kill all of the gods. So they got his brother because they thought it was him, and they just took him. And eventually, Kratos finds his way to like hell to like save his bro, and they're like, "Oh shit, we fucked up. That's the marked guy. He got the white skin and the red tattoo. He's gonna kill everybody." So then they try to kill him, and that really sets off a bunch of the stuff in God of War.
Mm.
And then the new trilogy introduces his
I
son.
might get a PlayStation just to play that
Yeah,
and a couple other games.
the new trilogy introduces his son, who his name is Atreus. Um, yeah, and he being the son of a giant, like Odin don't fuck with that. Odin don't fuck with the giants. So there's a bunch of conflict there, and as the name suggests in God of War Ragnarok, they're trying to prevent Ragnarok. That's the goal of the game.
Hmm. Yeah, so finally treating Ragnarok as a serious epic rather than Thor Ragnarok, which missed out on so much
Oh yeah,
opportunity.
no, they're
Yeah.
constantly shitting their parents. They're like, yo, bro, we do not want to build, we do not want to bring Ragnarok. It is not something we want to do. Like at one point we go to fuck, where is it? The hot one. I think it's Jotunheim. I think
So
it's
Jotunheim is the land of the giants.
yeah, no,
It's
Jotunheim's. Where's the hot the lava we won?
Surtur was there.
Surtur? Yeah, that's where we go there, and they're like mentioning Surtur. It's like, yeah, I haven't seen Surtur, but I know he's still living because Ragnarok's still around the corner.
Yeah,
Fuck, what is it called? Valheim?
yeah.
No, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you could
But
just look it up.
yeah, it's not important though. You in the second one, you get to go to all nine realms. You get to go to Asgard, Midgard, Jotunheim, Spartan.
I like the berserker design they had for Thor that they were showing. Like he
Oh,
looked like
like
an actor.
he's like really tall, but he looks like he should be stocky.
Yeah.
Like he's just kind of short and fat, but he's not short. He's just a really big guy. People didn't like the design. People were like,
I
he's
like
supposed to be strong, and it's like, y'all niggas is just dumb, bro. Like,
Yo,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are so fucking stupid. Strong. The niggas you see in the gym and in these with the fucking aesthetic bodies. That's not how strong people look. That's not
but
how
yeah,
strong.
some people were mad at the design of Thor. I was really like interested in the design of Odin. He's like a really frail man. In this one, because in this one they are leaning heavily into he is a big brained planner kind of guy. Like he's still strong because at one point Kratos is like, yeah, the strength of a god doesn't matter what your body looks like, you have it, like you're gonna be strong, right? So he's still like a very strong character, but he's like Odin is a smooth talker. He'll convince you that you're standing in water, even if you're like in the middle of a desert kind of guy.
Mm.
Which is funny because that's usually what they portray Loki as.
Yeah,
So
but
what was
Loki,
Loki like in the series?
spoilers.
I don't. Okay, forget it.
Nah, his son's name is Atreus, but they wanted to name him Loki as he is the son of the giants. He's the last giant, Loki.
So he is Loki. Wait, so
He
he's their
is
version
Loki. Yeah,
of
he's
Atreus.
Loki.
Interesting. Interesting. So that's why they gave the Loki characteristics to Odin, I guess.
Yeah. But Atreus is out here. He's not like tricking people, but he is definitely a schemer. Like he has these big plans. Heimdall even starts describing the more characteristics, the more famous version of Loki to Atreus. He was like, when I look at you, this is what I see. And I think that was supposed to be like see, he understands that this guy when he grows up, or like how he is deep down, he's not on the up and up. He's not as honorable as his father, really.
Interesting.
But yeah, that was my throwback, remembering the original God of War series. I actually got into an argument with someone because they were saying the original series was way better than this series. Well, no, like their exact words were the new games are trash. I was like, you're fucking bugging. Like they are different genres.
Is there a way to, like, if you start just getting into the series now, can you play it on the new PlayStation?
Uh,
Is that
yeah, no, you
accessible?
can play the other
Okay.
ones. You can straight up just buy them. I think you can straight up just buy them on the PS5, or if you have the subscription, like the most expensive subscription, they literally just have all. They have 1, 2, 3 Ascension. I think they have Ghost of Sparta too. Like they have the PSP versions too. You can just play
Yeah.
all the games.
Yeah, they have to have that available if it's like one of the staples of PlayStation, like
Kratos
one of
is a
those games.
mascot
Yeah,
for Sony now. Like in their
yeah.
PlayStation All Star game, he was
Yeah.
like one of the first characters.
Like
Basically,
Like Master Chief for Xbox. Like
Yeah.
there's certain staples for those consoles. So
What are you saying, Gio?
I was gonna say I used to play that game all the time, and I played as Kratos.
Yeah, bro. Kratos was busted in that game, TBH, because he just
Yeah,
had the
like
reach. He
he
had
was
the
the easiest
reach,
to play with.
easy, like get out button, like because in that game you didn't knock people off the stage. If you used like your ultimate move, like your R1 move, like you would kill someone. Kratos is easy to fill his bar, easy to land move. It was fucking goofy.
I enjoyed that game. I liked that game a lot.
It was
Ray, you ever
it was fun. What?
Ray, you ever played Heavenly Sword?
No, I haven't played that one.
That's a good game. I think it's a PlayStation exclusive. I played that at my friend's crib. He had it. It's like a hack and slash type of game. Really good though.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've recognized this. I
Yeah,
recognize this.
Heavenly Sword is a good game.
I wonder if she was inspired by Kratos, because they're both just. Well, I was
what
about to say
are,
they're both redheaded, but like Kratos don't got no
Yeah.
hair.
what are some canceled projects you guys wish they'd bring back?
Oh,
Canceled
speaking of that,
projects.
what
Or
you
you
mean
could go
for like
first.
games?
Oh, just anything, anything.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny you say that. It's because the other day, I don't think you guys ever seen this show. It was like it wasn't that popular, which makes sense why they canceled it. But I don't know if you ever heard the show on Stars. It's called Party Down.
No.
It's about basically just giving a brief synopsis of it. It's about a group of caterers that like they all want to be they're all aspiring to be like actors or work in the movie industry, and like they actually have talent, but they're just like one of those people, like the starving artist type, where they um they still have dreams of making it, like they haven't totally given up, and they work the catering job to just have some money in their pocket, but while they're on the job they talk about like um movies they want to be in, people at the catering events that they want to talk to. um what's his name? uh the main character, you guys know him. I can't think. He was in Parks and Recreation.
I
Adam
never watched
something. I
that show,
can't think.
bro.
Yeah,
I think I
he was
know
in
who you're
there. Yeah, white guy.
Aren't they all white in Parks and
Um,
Rec?
that help at all. But anyways, it was an interesting show because like every episode, they'll be catering a different event. So like There was one episode they was dead catering at an orgy, bro. Like some guy was throwing an orgy in his crib, and he was like, the guy's telling him, he's like, yeah, I want you guys to be in here because this room is gonna be reserved for us getting it on, and I don't need you guys interrupting that when the ball starts rolling. Like we're not gonna like. So they meet in a bunch of weird people, and I've always thought catering. I never got into it, but I've always thought from afar that was a cool job. Going to these like lavish kind of events, even though you're working them.
So that
But
show was that good? Did you think they should bring it back?
so that's what I was gonna tell you. The show got canceled. It went. They had 2 seasons. And then I found out yesterday as I was on the Stars app looking for something to watch. I see something that come across the screen about Party Down that says trailer for the new season in February coming up. And I was like, what? Like that show's been off the air for years. And I remember I found it like I came across the show randomly one day. Like when I came across it, like it was already like canceled like for a while.
Mm.
And I remember watching it, like binge watching it one day. I was like, nah, this show was good. And I ended up Wikipedia it, and they were saying that yeah, like it just the ratings weren't favorable. So I think it was maybe one of those shows that people caught on to later, and then I don't know how it happened, but it got picked up for a season, and they're bringing all the original cast members, so it's not going to be like different cast members. So I'm excited for that to come back, and you guys should check it out if you never heard of it.
What about
Definitely
you,
gonna
Ray?
not watch it just because you recommended it to me.
What about you? Ray? What's your canceled project you wish they'd bring back?
It's kind of hard off the spot. Like if I like really sat here and thought about it, I might be able to give you one. So like if I say something that's like kind of whack, that's the reason. That's what I'm telling you right now. Because like I can't think of anything that like got canceled that I want to bring back. And like I'm usually the one to advocate for shows ending. Actually, like like I'm happy that Avatar: The Last Airbender ended. Like I don't want there to be a continuation of it.
Sometimes there are stories that didn't get a chance to end.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just trying to say like,
Yeah.
Canceled things. Shit, I really can't think of anything that got canceled.
Mm.
Let me look up a
All
list.
right, you
There's
just
definitely
come back.
like, stuff.
Jay, you got one? You can come back to it.
Yeah, there's a comic I used to read called Edison Rex, which was a cool comic. It was like the premise was there was like a Lex Luthor analog, and he comes up with a plan to kill his nemesis, and it actually works. So after he kills his nemesis is like the world is now in your hands. So he feels like he's like shit. Like I've achieved what I always wanted to. It's kind of like Megamind, except he then tries to take on the role of being a hero now and trying to do what his nemesis used to do. And then there's like a subplot where it turns out like there's like a whole collective of alternate Edison Rexes who have each killed their uh their Valiant. That was the hero's name. And then basically whenever an Edison Rex would kill his Valiant, and like take over his planet, the Edison Rex collective would come to join him into their thing because like apparently there was like some this world universe destroying entity that if they banded together they'd be able to stop, right? And he refuses to join because he's like, I don't want to rule the world, I want to save it. And then he fights them. But basically the way it ended is you learn that fucking because like he like he like tricked Valiant, and it turns out his trick was real, and he gets like fucking arrested after people are able to prove that he fucking killed Valiant, right? He gets arrested and he willingly lets them take him because like one of the elements of the story is he takes like all the former enemies of Valiant and kind of like is able to get them to work on his side to fix the world, and then they all scheme against him and aid the heroes in arresting him, right?
Yeah.
But then you learn that they have to break his ass out of prison because like these robots, these like Valiant robots, like Superman has these Superman robots in the comics. These are like the analogs in this universe. They've like taken over the fucking planet. So now that's how the comic fucking ended. That was the last page. Ultimate fucking cliffhanger. And they kept saying they were gonna bring it back soon. And they started publishing it on a website instead of on the thing. But then finally the writer admitted that it was never coming back and it was done. and I was like, fuck. I was like,
You
Mm.
know what?
damn.
There it is. I just remembered.
Wait, but let me finish. Let me finish. One of the cool
Oh,
things
you
that
were done, but go ahead. I think you're
one of
done.
the cool things I liked about the comic was they made reference to all like the independent creators. So the characters in the book were each named after various independent comics. So you had a character named Miss Mirage, who was named after Mirage Studios. There's a character named Kid Caliber, and he's like fucking named after Caliber Comics. Like they just kept doing like there was Atlas. He's named after Atlas Comics. Like it was just something they did. It was really cool. I was like, oh, that's dope. That was a dope naming convention that they did. Yeah, go ahead.
The Galactic Kissing Store spinoff that got canceled. So the original creator of the Kissing Store had an idea for a continuation of the Kissing Store, where it was going to focus on that Galactic Kissing Store trope idea from the end of the series, where like you would like adultness was a disease that was spreading throughout the universe, and it was not just like the effects of growing old. They had a bunch of they had like an ARG for it for a while, where like you'd go to this website and there'd be a rainbow monkey like head, and then like if you did some things, you can click into it and you can like look up the status of all the K&D operatives from the show. It was a interesting little thing, but you know it never got greenlit, and it's basically dead in the water now. Like there's never gonna be a
When you
Galactic Kissing Store.
when you heard about it, you was excited.
Well, I
First
didn't
of
think that they were going to get a greenlit because I was like, "There's no
all.
way Cartoon Network is going to let them have this." Like, I was like, "Kissing Store," even though it was pretty fairly popular. Like I think it had like 4 seasons.
How did it end though? Like did it end on a bad note?
Nigel
Like
Uno, number one, he gets indoctrinated into the Galactic Kissing Store. Like he
so it
goes
kind of
off.
gave the idea that there would be something else.
Yeah, and then like the end, like the end is technically everyone gets. I think they're like their 40s. Number 3 and number 4 are married. Number 5 and number 2 are still around, and they like trick father into going into space after number 1. But it's some weird thing.
Yeah.
So
I had another one real quick. I know Gio heard of this show. This is like one of my favorite shows of all time, and it definitely needed to be and I don't know for how long it could go on. Like it would have went on for if they kept doing seasons, but it needed at least one more season because of the ending was just a cliffhanger. And that's My Name is Earl, man.
Oh
Love
yeah.
that show. Love that show. Man, that's one of my favorite shows of all time, and every every season to me was good. Like it didn't really have a drop off. I mean, the season where Earl goes where he goes to jail, then comes out, and then he gets hit by a car, he goes into a coma. That it wasn't a drop off, but it was like you don't really have the main character. He's out of commission, even though he was still narrating and in the episodes, he wasn't really in it. But nah, oh that whole show, man, I could rewatch that uh multiple times, and it's just like because the way the episode ends, the last episode ends is uh the whole entire show, he was told that the kids that he had with the white girl, Joy, wasn't really his kids. He was raising somebody else's kids. But then the last episode kind of brings that back, and they go over that night where like he first got with them and like met him, and she ended up pregnant the next day, and it kind of like hints at maybe one of those kids, because there's two kids. One of them is black, is clearly not his, but one of them is white. But the white kid, they didn't know. She told him that she didn't know who the father was, but that it wasn't him. So then they kind of bring like I said, pick that back up and try to hint at him possibly being the father of that kid, and then they do like a whole DNA testing thing, and he looks at I forgot how it like the specifics of it, but we don't really know for sure if he's the father of their kid or not. So I
Mm.
mean, it doesn't they didn't need to bring another like 3 or 4 seasons to explain that part, but at least one more season. And I was reading some stuff online about the show, and people were disappointed that it ended, and even Earl, like or Jason Lee, the guy that plays Earl, he went on a podcast talking about it. He was like, because they asked him about the show. He's like, yeah, man, I love doing that show. Like, people still ask me that about the show, like why why they didn't do more seasons, and he was like, it didn't get what's the word, syndicated, and did it get syndicated for another season, but they all wanted to do it, and they just I guess the ratings and stuff. So um, and there was another thing I wanted to mention about that show. What was it? Damn, I can't remember at the moment. Oh, one of the fan theories about how the show. This would have been beautiful if it ended this way, about like the perfect ending for that show. Because if you ever watched it, he has the list and he's constantly trying to help everybody that's on the list. But even with one person that's on the list, it takes him a whole episode to cross it off. Like usually when you are trying to make amends to somebody, it shouldn't take that long. But he, to some degree, he drags it on by like, you know, feeling like he has to do the utmost, even though the person is ready, like willing to forgive them, and it's like, nah, you don't have to do all that. But then there's other times where it's like, nah, like you really completely wrong this person, and they're not just gonna accept you giving them this small token of or this gift, and then just gonna let you walk away. But anyways, the fan theory was that because he took so long to complete everybody off that list, he was never going to finish it, especially at the pace he was going. So the idea was to him for him to come across somebody that he wronged in the past, and as he's in the process of making amends to that person, he sees that they have a list of their own, and they actually are going around making amends to people they wronged. And from that, he learns that he's put enough good in the world out there that there are people that are mimicking what he did, and he can walk away from that, uh, you know, satisfied and knowing that like, yeah, I can't get to all these people, but like I've created a better world in a sense.
Hmm.
I thought that was interesting. I mean, it sucks for the people that didn't get that. He didn't get to make the shit up to. They're like they're
I
probably not
know.
even thinking about him, but
Like they maybe enough paying it forward, and because I was thinking
yeah.
about it recently about how, yeah,
And then he
Lord.
just gets on. He gets on with his life. Like he puts the list down and actually lives his life. And I was like, all right, that's actually cool if that would have happened.
But anyways, enough yammering on a bunch of old coots talking about the past. Uh, we'll let you guys go. We had fun here talking about the things that made our childhoods light up and our even our young adulthood light up. Like things just don't hit the same to me anymore, and maybe that's nostalgia talking, but it just does not hit the same. It's not the same. But anyways, catch you same bad place, same bad time.